Good to see you, Josh.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming in, man.
Pleasure. First time in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Welcome to the South. So obviously you're just hopped off a plane coming from Israel. You have a very cool background of a lot of different things that you've been involved in. And the first thing I would love to know is, how did Dono come about? I mean, obviously your company, Dono, out of Israel, Tel Aviv. And so give me a little bit of a background of how that came to be.
Yeah, so if you would ask me 2 years ago what title is, I cannot tell you. In Israel, it's quite common for people at our age, late 20s, the beginning of our 30s, to build tech companies. We're good at tech and we're really excelling in data. And 2.5 years ago, my co-founders and I, we realized that there is this concept in the real estate industry in the US, which is called reverse mortgage. And it makes a lot of sense to us, but we realized that this product perceived very negatively in the market. People hate it and they are feeling shame when they need to take it, when they get to the right age. And we thought, okay, maybe we should change this. So we came up with a whole new idea, a company called 65. We wanted to help American seniors to streamline the equity locked in their home into their today's wallet in a new way that gives them control and visibility. And remember those words, because those words, control and visibility, it's the same concept that we apply also today in Dono. We built a platform, got some money from investors, started, launched it in late 22, beginning of 2023. People loved that and needed it in the Florida market. And then the whole economy changed. Once the interest rate skyrocketed, it became nearly impossible to maintain the company. The line of credit that we had as a company was destructive in its terms when the interest rate is above 10%. But we never give up, so we kind of digged into what we built already. And we found out that one of the painful processes that we needed to deal with back then was title search. Title search should be a simple process. What I know from my own country, you pay $4.50, you get a paper from the municipality. It says yes or no, green or red, that's it. That's simple. And we realized that in the US, you have 50 states, more than 3,000 counties. Each county, act differently, jurisdiction, they do whatever they want. The data is 300 years old, and there is no uniformity around title, and it's very painful to do. So we started with just one county in Florida, Broward County, Fort Lauderdale. We built an internal product just for us to scrape and collect the different data from the different data sources based on different queries, addresses, APNs, and so on, to get the data fast, because the experience that we had emailing the agent, and then the agent replies after, 24 hours, and then we wait another 3 days, and the entire closing process gets, lands here for no reason, we couldn't take it. So we built it, and we started to showcase this internal product to our distribution partners back then, mortgage brokers, financial advisors, people from the industry, and they loved it, and they were, guys, you're onto something. And this is how Dono started really the process of building our platform. Now, we were naive, and we're still naive, and I think this is one of the the nicest thing of building something from scratch. But we thought maybe we can build a national production company where the only thing you need as the user is the address. This is the input, the output will be a title search report, a commitment, whatsoever. We started to build it, and we thought, okay, a year or two, we're gonna have it covered in 50 states. No, not in title. Data sources are a nightmare, market dynamics are different between different jurisdictions, the requirements are different, very complex. So, okay, we took a step back and we realized that instead of building a product, we're building capabilities. There are different capabilities that are needed in title industry, and we built the 4, foundational capabilities to make title faster and more efficient. Data collection, the ability to extract and index data, the ability to underwrite the data with AI, and eventually to produce a final deliverable would be a report, maybe a title plan, a commitment, whatsoever, just to produce a final deliverable. And yeah, this is what brought us here, and we're very, very, very excited to launch this product in the North Carolina market.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, and I love how you were able to say, okay, here's something that is very complicated that doesn't need to be complicated, and here is a space that just hasn't had a lot of evolution in a very long time in terms of capability and in terms of serving the people well. kind of matching what Rhythmic, how we started, right? It's the same similar scenario. Some people that know who we are and what we've done so far in North Carolina at a very early stage was, how do we remove some of the friction that is in the title process, specifically in North Carolina first, and then let's figure out what can happen nationwide from there.
I think that Rhythmic is a great reflection of what happens when you come fresh and you meet experience together, and this is the result, because you have on your team people who are in the industry for decades already, from all aspects, and you have this entrepreneurial spirit that you brought, Josh, and together you can create things that people that have been working on the same processes, same workflows for, decades, they just can't, because they can't think outside of the box.
Right.
And when we met, I realized that this is the opportunity, because you guys have the same mindset of not changing everything from scratch and creating a new industry. We're playing the same framework, but we just took the old processes that are just inefficient and replaced them with streamlined processes. You don't need to be afraid of this change, because it keeps the things quite the same that as you used to do before, just better.
Yeah, much more efficient and scalable, right?
Exactly.
And so you and I met, I guess it would have been last fall, and going into the winter, we were talking about a different product offering. We were hearing so much feedback from the attorneys in North Carolina about how search was such an arduous process, and so there's this whole prior title game, and everything was kind of hinging upon that, and because it just wasn't cost effective to do a 30-year search on every single property every single time. And so we're like, even though as a title company that's typically not something that we would do, because in North Carolina it's different, the closing attorney is leading the charge on that. It's like, why don't we provide a tool for the attorney that they can utilize to help streamline some of their processes as well? And so we started looking at doing it. We got connected. We started sharing vision, started sharing ideas about how we could impact that. And you had already done a great job creating the initial framework in Florida. It was kind of funny, because I remember on one of the calls that we had, you were like, let me get right back to you on that. Because I could see the wheels turning, like,
the bulb were lighting.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, this is something here. So the collaborative approach was at the very beginning and the origin of that, and we kind of got in that rhythm together. And so the next thing you know, we turned over the year and started getting folks on the beta test, and it was wild, because it wasn't as accurate, and then about 2 months later it was just as accurate, and then 3 months ago we were getting reports back from closing attorneys that it was more accurate than the human that did the search prior to. And these are A to A comparisons, B to B comparisons. And so that's when we knew we really had something that we can launch here in North Carolina and help change the game of how title is being produced, not just on the title production side, but also on the search. And I couldn't be any more proud to be partnering with you on this here in North Carolina and launching this as we go.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel the same way, and I think that the beauty here is that attorneys and closing attorneys and paralegal, they have a lot of knowledge and capabilities and skills, and they need to put these things into things that matter. Right. And going to this outdated county websites, the VCAP system, or Odyssey, which is a little more modern, or the registry of deed, or maybe picking up the phone and call 5 or 10 different underwriters reps to find this prior policy, it's not a good use of their time. And when you give people time back, they love it, they need it. So I think this is the game, and this is why this market specifically really needed this product and needed the solution to make this part of the process just a little better.
Right, and I wholeheartedly agree, and I think that the goal here is not just to provide a service in this market, but have a generous business proposition or opportunity for people so that they can impact their own industry, their own team, their own even family dynamic, because there's nothing better than an attorney that can go home early, right? As
Absolutely.
Opposed to staying late to do these random searches and things like that. So, we don't want to just provide that product in the market. We want to be willing to serve that market and those people that are buying homes and properties here in the Carolinas. And so nothing more exciting than to get a call from an attorney like we had just a few weeks ago that said, I'm getting 8, 10, 12, 15 hours of time back for myself or my paralegal because we're able to utilize a platform like this. And so it's exciting.
You guys used to spend 3 or 4 days on searching records and build the package, or just picking up the phone and looking for the prior policy. The only thing you need to do in Dono is having your address entered, submit, go back to your kids, have dinner. The morning after, you're going to have the package ready for you to be reviewed and issue the opinion letter.
Yep, removing that friction, still reissue rate eligible. And we're also working with underwriters on making sure that they're backing this 100% as well. So
fully insured product.
Yeah. So where can people find out more about Dono?
Yeah, so we're at Dono.ai. As simple as it sounds, Dono.ai. All the information is there. Yeah, we're very excited to launch it right now in this market.
And if you're outside of the North Carolina market, obviously reach out and we can start that conversation as well. But if you're in North Carolina specifically, nc.dono.ai, nc.dono.ai is a great just snapshot. There's a video on there as well to kind of explain how the process is currently being done in North Carolina and how we look to kind of revolutionize what that does. So together is better. The collaborative approach always wins.
Here to serve.
And we're here to serve, right? Thanks so much for taking some time to kind of share the story. And I could not be any more excited about going on this journey with you, man. And as we continue to go.
Absolutely.